Real estate is cyclical. Every single year when it cools down and head towards the holidays, the buying and selling just kind of slow down. People have got better stuff to do, dealing with family and holidays, and that coupled with high home prices, historically high home prices, and rising interest rates makes home buying not too appetizing. And you've got a lot of realtors out there saying now is a great time to buy, and people like Dave Ramsey saying that real estate is just going to keep going up. But today we're going to take a hard look at the truth and the pros and cons buying a home right now. My name is Greyson Roberts, a realtor and owner of Boss Properties. Yeah, you heard it right. I am a scumbag, biased realtor that's going to tell you to buy real estate at all costs. Well, not exactly, because we do sales, but also education and entertainment. So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of buying a home. And there are plenty of cons, but there are actually a lot of pros. Now, whether you're a cash buyer and you don't care about rates, or you're going to buy a property and live in it for the rest of your life for 10, 15 years, and you don't care if your home is going to decline in value over the next couple years, or whatever it might be. Maybe you don't have the luxury of picking when to buy a home. You relocating for family or medical reasons or for work, doesn't matter what it might be, there are pros and cons to buying a home in this current climate. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, the people like Dave Ramsey and fellow realtors make it out to seem, but it's not as bad as, the media makes it out to seem. And I don't think either one of those things are all that surprising. If you need any real estate services, buying, selling, investing, or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. You can call or text 24/7, doesn't matter. I'm here for all of your real estate needs. I operate out of the greater Springfield, Missouri area, but if you need a realtor in, let's say, California, I'll tap into my database I've got and find you the best realtor for your situation and your neighborhood. So on all of my pros and cons, I personally like to start with the cons and then finish on a high note with the pros. So let's dive into the cons, the pretty obvious cons, things that you probably already know and that the media and everybody is saying because it's true. So let's start with those real quick. Home prices. Now this isn't surprising to anybody, but home prices are at historic highs. Now they are starting to come down, but if you were to buy a home right now for, let's say, $300,000, and then the next 2 years, this home could be worth $285,000. That's would be kind of drastic, but that's probably what I'm expecting that we're going to start seeing some, and we've already seen some declines in prices. So home prices being really high and starting to come down, obviously, like everybody wants cheaper houses, but if you're planning to sell within 2 to 5 years, you could potentially be at risk for losing money on your home, which you don't want to do. But hey, if you're planning on staying there for longer, 5 to 10 years, maybe even lifetime, then it doesn't really matter. It's going to go up in value and you won't lose money unless it's just a really bad deal, but that's why you get a competent realtor. Dave Ramsey keeps preaching that home prices are going to continue to rise, so now is a wonderful time to buy. The National Association of Realtors predicts that 2023 is going to see another 5.3% appreciation on real estate, but due to simple supply and demand and what we're already seeing, I don't see how either one of those statements could be really possible. I think that home prices are going to drop about 10% in the next few years and will bounce back and continue with their usual 6% per year in appreciation that we've seen, nationally on average since real estate really began. Now, the second con is interest rates. Yes, interest rates are hovering around 6 to 7%. They've been jacking them up and down lately, but basically every single interest rate 1 percentage point decreases your purchasing power by 10%. So maybe in 2020 you qualified for a $500,000 home, but with interest rates at 3%, but now that they're higher, 5, 6, 7%, you might only be able to qualify through a $300,000 home, right? So you're able to qualify for significantly less. However, you can actually always refinance. Now it could cost you 1 to 3% on average of the actual loan amount, but if you're refinancing from a 7% interest rate down to a 4, and they can roll that refinancing cost over into the loan, it could save you hundreds of dollars, significant savings every single month. I always say marry the house, date the rate, because you can refinance later. High interest rates, it's not actually that big of a deal that people make it out to seem. Yeah, you might not be able to qualify for the same home and it's going to cost you more money in the meantime, but it's not forever. Now let's talk about the pros of buying a home. Now everybody's situation is different. Are you buying it for yourself, for someone else? Are you paying cash? Are you looking for a fix and flip, a short-term rental, a long-term rental, or whatever it might be? Everybody's needs and wants is different, but we are going to talk about some pros. Now, the first big one is leverage for negotiation. Due to supply and demand, people just not wanting to buy homes. One, it's the down season. It's about Christmas time, plus high interest rates, plus historically high home prices. It basically means that nobody wants to buy a home, and I predict that this month is going to be a historically bad month for real estate transactions. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be as low as we've seen in a long time. So that means if you are looking to buy a home right now, or even into the first of 2023, you could have a lot of leverage for negotiation. One, less competition. Home prices are coming down because people aren't paying $50K over asking and waiving the inspection, right? So, if you have a $5,000 roof bill, you could, either get the price knocked down, you credit it, or split it with the seller. You have a lot more rooms for negotiation. Plus, you can actually send below asking offers and have a chance that they're going to get accepted, something that we have not seen in a long time. So right now, you have a lot more leverage for negotiation, and maybe you can actually buy a home for what it should be worth, and you won't lose any money. If you can get a home for 10% off, then there's really no reason not to buy a home right now, right? So you have a lot more room for negotiation. Also, if you are a cash buyer, since interest rates are so high, a lot of people can't afford the same amount of home, or simply are sitting on the sidelines until rates go down. If you're a cash buyer, well, simply rates don't matter because you're a cash buyer, and you have the opportunity to, when rates drop, refinance it, pull your money out, and go buy another deal. So if you're a cash buyer, you have more leverage than ever before, especially not ever before, but you have a lot more leverage over, you can cash buy, I close in 10 days, I'm going to give you $50K less on a $400,000 property, whatever it might be. You have a lot more negotiation because, like I said, rates are high, and a lot of people either are sitting on the sidelines or simply got priced out. The second pro is something we've already talked about, but it's refinancing. And a lot of people simply see 7% interest rates, 6% interest rates, and like, you know what, I'm going to sit out and wait. But people who, like I said, everybody's situation is different. Either you have to, you want to, you're going to refinance, or whatever it might be. Refinancing is awesome because with home prices being really high, or interest rates, being really high, and home prices, a lot of people are going to say, cost of borrowing money is too expensive. I don't qualify for the home I used to, so I'm going to wait. Well, this is an opportunity for you to go in, you buy your dream home at a discount because there's less competition. So I'm not promising a discount, but you're not going to probably have to pay over asking, and you can negotiate some repairs if the seller is willing. But you could be the one to say, I don't really care about it. I'm going to get a good deal on this house because interest rates are higher, and then I'll refinance in 6 to 12 months once my mortgage is seasoned and I'm able to refinance it. So interest rates being high kind of just means people who are willing to put in the extra effort could get better deals. So moral of the story is real estate is a long-term game. Whether you buy now, if you set yourself up correctly and get a competent realtor, then the whole 10%, 20% decline, even if that does happen, won't really matter at all. Unless you got an adjustable rate mortgage, you lock in your interest rate at, let's say, 7%. If it goes up, you're fine. If it goes down, you can refinance as long as your mortgage has seasoned over about 6 to 12 months. So, there's a lot of ways that you can use the current climate of real estate, such little competition, to really go and get some good deals, whether it's for an investment or a primary residence. It doesn't matter. If you get a competent realtor, you can get deals in every single market. And in fact, right now, I'd say it's a better time to buy a home than, a year ago, whenever everybody was paying well over asking and interest rates were lower. So that's just my personal opinion. You could always find a deal, diamond in the rough. This doesn't matter what the market is. If you have a competent realtor, they can do that for you. So give me a call. I greatly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.